Hello and welcome to the 361. And today we're on episode 12, Remember Me, talking all about remembrance after loss. How would you like to be remembered? Do you ever think about it? What happens when we're not? Do you, like me, ever wonder if your exes remember you and how they remember you? Doesn't it drive you wild that you'll never know? And that's the true meaning of bewildered. To actually not know how we'll be remembered. Well, really, to be driven wild by some idea. 1. Unmarked grave. Both my grandmother and my brother have their ashes scattered on an unmarked grave. And this really bothers me. They're just like a number, and it was 4 weeks apart. Does a grave actually matter? I think about this a lot. How would you like to be remembered? Because in 100 years' time, I don't know whether you know, but the graves only last for 100 years and then they become someone else's. I mean, does it matter? Do we need a grave with an angel on it? Do we need a big tombstone? And what happens to people who can't afford to bury their dead? How are they remembered? Why do we want to be remembered so badly? Is it ego or human nature? 2. Forget me not. When we lose someone, we desperately want to remember them, and it's as if we have a fear of forgetting, and we do things like holding on and resisting. And I know I used to wear my dad's clothes and wear his shoes and smell his jumpers and just hold on to them, and I was kind of semi-hysterical in case I lost them. I was living by the sea at the time, and there's nothing like the sea for helping you to understand that time and tide wait for no woman. I've still got the shoes and the jumper, but I don't wear them anymore. It all gets washed away twice a day, but what remains? What remains when we've gone? 3. Dig your own grave. How do we remember our lives? And how do we mark the end of something? The end of a relationship, a divorce, the end of a marriage, or maybe a death, or maybe the end of one gender and a transition to another one. Does it matter if we don't mark it? Because every transition is a little death. That's what it's called in psychology. For our mental health and our personal evolution, we must do something to mark these passings, these endings. And within the ending, always is the start of something else. The church may not be a viable option for you, but rituals in church used to be a great way of ending. Each culture has its own ritual. But in the UK, we're beginning to ignore this need to say goodbye in a healthy way. I have a transgender friend who has a grave in her garden to her old self. And I think that's a really healthy thing to do. Others keep some ashes and make it into jewellery. And there's a lot of choices between letting go and holding on. But does it really matter? 4. 1,000 beautiful things. The 361 recovery program can help you to acknowledge your loss. This is really important. Emotional trouble happens when you don't acknowledge it and you press it down and you carry on as normal because it's under there, people. It's still under there. The 361 helps you to unpack the loss in your own time. What will you be keeping as you walk away from this loss or from this transition, and what will you take with you? The 361 helps you to feel that pain of dropping the suitcase, and it's really, really painful. And letting the clothes go. No longer smelling that scent in the jumpers like I did. The 361 helps you to find the one reason to get up and face the world after a loss without your shell. Oh, it's so hard, I know. It's without what you love. How do you face the world without that thing, that person that you loved? Well, things you love still remain somehow in some way, and new things come to take their place. It's a circle of life. If you look around, you'll soon be able to count 1,000 beautiful things, or maybe not soon, but eventually, because sometimes it's a slow process. We're talking about grief and it's a bit spiky. The 361 helps you to find the first one in those 1,000 beautiful things. I hope you found this useful. I think a lot about loss. I've lost a lot and it's painful, yeah, but there does come a point where you can start to travel on, and some of the things I've kept and some of the things I've lost houses, lost people out of my life, and I've given away those jumpers now, but I've still got one up there to wear it sometimes when I miss my dad. The 361 recovery programme is coming out to you twice a week, Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. on YouTube, and a blog. There's also a podcast coming in January 2020 and life coaching. So I hope you have a great day and have a think. How would you like to be remembered?